Okay, hello, we're pod 3 and we're doing project management and my name's True. This is Amanda and that's Nicole. And before we start, I'm a little bit sick, so if I start coughing and dying, I apologize in advance. So just for a quick overview, I'll be talking about GitHub projects and giving you like a rundown on that. And then
It said your screen share is paused. Wait. What's that?
It
It says screen share is paused at the top.
Oh, it is paused. I'm still on your prior.
Is it fine?
Maybe try to unshare and reshare.
Oh, Zoom.
Is it because
Right.
it went full screen? Why did you?
I did this.
I need to do your whole screen.
Was that my?
Is it still paused?
I'm waiting. Okay. I just have a black screen. Let's see if you can see how I'll share.
Resume.
Do the whole screen.
Here's your Zoom.
This is Zoom.
Oh, that is.
This up here.
Oh. Reshare your screen, do a new share. And then share your whole desktop.
Do a new share the desktop.
That's the
Yeah.
desktop.
Go to the bottom.
That should fix
And
it.
yeah, no, I hear over.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, I'm gonna go over GitHub projects and then we're talking about GitHub issues in more detail. And then we're gonna kind of tie it all together with progress tracking at the end. So projects. So when you initially think of a project, you're probably thinking of like a goal you're actually working towards. So let's say you want to make a game and you make like a repository for that. That's what you're probably thinking of. But GitHub actually has a tool called Projects that's integrated and it's involved around managing all the work across like some deliverable. And there's different levels to it. So you can have like an organization level project in which it'll actually track your work across like several different repositories, which is pretty cool. And there's also just like repository level projects if you just have like a single team or you're working on one project. And then there's also just like user level ones if you want to make your own project and like, let's say you're tracking like all of the projects you've ever made. And it like includes like flexible, customizable boards that allow teams to plan, organize, and track tasks. And that just helps with like project management and streamlining like your general workflow. So just to give you like a quick glimpse on the right are pictures of what a projects board would look like. And why should we use it? Efficiency and centralization, which kind of like tie in together. So if you're using projects, it's already embedded into GitHub, so you don't need to use like external software. And then again, everything is centralized. So all of your tasks, issues, pull requests are linked into one place. And again, they're all connected to your repositories. And then I'm gonna go over some key features really quickly. So you have visual organization with boards. We're mainly gonna use something called like Kanban boards for our class, but GitHub offers other types of views as well. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but there's customizable columns, which represent like different workflow stages. And then within those columns, you'll have cards, which represent your tasks. And then for those boards, you can also have your own views based on like whatever filtering or sorting you want. So you could do it by like assignees, so who you have assigned to one thing, or labels. You can make your own custom labels, which makes it really customizable and flexible. And then you can also sort it by like due dates if you want to see what's coming up next. Another thing is integration with the GitHub issues and pull requests. So changes are automatically updated to, let's say you like close an issue or you merge a pull request. If you're looking at your board, it should reflect that. And then the cool thing is that you can link your cards directly to like issues or pull requests. So it'll like show up and then you can click it and it'll take you directly there. Another cool thing is custom fields. So you have the ability to add metadata like priorities, deadlines, again, anything you really want it to be. And it's good just to have like tags on things or little descriptors, and then you can, again, sort things by those labels. And another thing is project automation. So based on a set of predefined roles that you're creating, you can have it so that cards are like automatically moved when you are done with a task. Okay, so this is what a Kanban board looks like. And Kanban is just like a Japanese word for like a visual card, or sorry. So it's a signboard or a visual card is what it means. And it was created by a Toyota engineer to basically boost like manufacturing efficiency, since they work like with vehicles. And what it is a visual tool that depicts work using columns to represent stages, as you can see in the picture. A simple board would have like a to-do column, an in-progress column, and a done column, but you could really do whatever you want with that. It just depends on how you want to structure it. And then again, there's like the little cards here, which represent the task. And just to go over the picture really quickly, a commitment point is just like the point at which you commit to a task, so you'd move it to like to do to in progress. And then delivery point is like the same sentiment, you would move it from in progress to done. And then you have a swim lane, which you can think of as like an extra layer of organization, basically. And it's like a horizontal bar, and you can separate it by like, I guess, types of different works or like different teams if you have multiple teams working on one board. And it can help teams identify bottlenecks and overcommitments. So let's say you have a team that's been in progress for a while, you can check in on them and be like, hey, what's going on? And see if you can help them finish their task. And some teams will have it so that the in progress column is limited to a certain number of tasks. So they're kind of forced to finish whatever they're working on before they can move on to something new. And then benefits of this is like visual clarity, since everything is laid out really nicely and in an easy to understand way. Flexibility, again, with all of like the custom labels you can do. Transparency, since let's say this is organization level again. You can literally see what everyone's doing, who's assigned to what phase they're in, and then all of this kind of links together to boost like overall team efficiency, since it streamlines your workflow pretty much. And then again, GitHub Projects uses the style of boards, and yeah. Now I'm gonna show you like the other. Okay, cool. I'm gonna show you like an alternative view, which is like the list thing, to show you kind of just how it works. Okay, I can't full screen it. But you have like your issues on the left, and then I think that's a pull request. And then your status and assignees, and they have it set up so like whenever you make a new issue, it's labeled as a feature, and then they went ahead and made that its own view, which is really nice. So whenever you create an issue, it's like automatically just here. And you can see this one doesn't have anyone assigned to it, so they can go ahead and assign someone there. And then if you actually click on it, it takes you to this. And then this is like a little description, and they have a link here that takes you to like another board, which I'll show you in a bit. And then on the right hand, you can see like assignees, labels. Again, this is labeled as a feature, and then the status. This is just in planning since they haven't done anything with it, and then they're gonna click on the link. And this is like another view, again, showing like how flexible it is. So they have this split up by area. So design, storage, media, support, connections. And then to add tasks or items, you just kind of type them in. Okay, yeah, she's typing it in. And that's kind of like the intent of it, is like jot down notes, since we like, here's what I'm gonna do. And then these are called drafts, and then once they're like more officialized, you can create them and turn them into issues, which you would just do by clicking the drop down here and then clicking convert to an issue. And then this is just like another view, which is their Kanban board. And instead of like to do, in progress, done, they have it split up by like iteration. So 1, 2, 3, and then to actually move it, you can physically like drag it. And then if you like see here, it has like the status and the name of the task and stuff. Oh, And here she's going to hidden fields and showing like the linked pull requests. And then you see that it makes it visible. And if you click that, it'll just take you directly there, which is really nice and convenient. Okay. So for best practices, it's good to collapse your issues into even smaller issues just for like management. And it allows team members to like work on tasks in parallel since they're working on like multiple different issues, which ultimately will build up to like the same larger issue. And then it also leads to smaller pull requests, which are easier to review as opposed to like if you give someone like a huge chunk of code to work on and then you tell them to merge it and it's just a large thing to look at. Another thing is communicating. So GitHub issues and pull requests have their own like built-in features. So you can like add mentions to people in discussions or something. You can assign people tasks to be like, hey, this is what you're doing. And then, sorry. You can also link resources or like contact info to people or sources that like they can reach out to if they need help. Another good thing is using descriptions. So every project board has like a README, which supports Markdown, which is cool because you can add like images and stuff if you want. And then it's good to just have like a description there so people know like what they're working on, how to use different views and stuff. And then there's like the actual project descriptions. Those go like under the actual tasks, let you know like what you're doing, extra info, resources, stuff like that. And then it's good to also keep your statuses up to date. So like there's no miscommunication and everyone knows who's doing what at what time. And then lastly is views. So you can use views to see your project from different angles. So let's say you're filtering by like status, see all like the items you haven't started. So then you can like kind of run through those one by one, get them done. Or you can group it by priority. So if you want to see all your high priority tasks, you can again run through those first before you get to like the lower priority things. And then you can even set it to like earliest target ship date. So what you need to do most immediately, you can work on that before you move on to other things. Okay.
In case you guys didn't hear earlier, my name is Amanda, and I'll be talking about GitHub issues. So what is GitHub issues? If you were to just look at your GitHub and go to the top left on the hamburger icon, it'll show you like here on the screenshot it says issues. You just click that and then it'll pop up this page. So just to clarify, this can have issues from multiple projects. Drew was kind of talking about it. One team could be doing multiple different projects, right? Or you could be running like test production and like your ready to deliver stage or whatever, right? So what this basically is a project management feature that logs tasks, bugs, and issues. And you can kind of use it to also log other things as well. You could be as creative as you want with it. It's not only for errors and bugs only. This project management goes really well with agile methodology. Drew kind of touched on it a little bit. So how she was talking about you have teams that are in progress on stuff and sometimes they go to testing. That can be part of sprints, which is in agile methodologies, which is basically like you're gonna go work on these tasks in your backlog for 2 weeks or whatever. Usually sprints are at least 2 weeks long. And if, at the end of that sprint, things are going well, you move on to the next stage, which could be production or testing. And that also ties in well with continuous integration and continuous deployment. And also you could use this to report different statuses and metrics. So this is how you would view an issue. I just made like an example issue just saying like, oh, let's just pretend I'm a junior developer. I don't know what's wrong with the code. It's not working. I'm just asking for help. So it's not even an error per se. It's more of I don't know what to do. And I'm just kind of putting it in the log for everyone else to see too. So you can see right here, we have a label called bug and help wanted. So these are labels that GitHub already has. You could also just add custom labels as well whenever you go to make your issue. So let's say you want to label something as testing. You can make that label and label it as that. That helps to categorize issues and make it easier for whoever is leading or managing your project to go ahead and assign those issues for other people to finish or fix to do. This enables easy access and organization. And another thing I'd like to point out is there is pull requests. Kind of True is touching on that a little bit too on her Kanban style view. They have all that stuff here as well for issues. And this can be integrated into GitHub projects. We have milestones as well. So like for this class, let's say, for example, we want to have multiple milestones. Let's say milestone 1 is when we did our first milestone, we call it milestones. So you could set milestones and the dates, which Nicole will kind of show more of later. And so this is what it looks like when you go to create a issue. And so right here, I've labeled the title data error. Let's just say I'm doing Python or something. I'm trying to pre-process some database or something. For example, I wrote a description saying that data is not properly being pulled in. I'm not sure what's going on, right? And so I say I want help wanted as the label, and let's just, for project, as I was talking about, you could put it into whatever you want, which that goes into the creativeness of it. And so once I finish that, I kind of blocked it with this picture, but there's a button down here that says create issue. You just click that when you're done. And on the right, that should be how it views. And so let's say I go to help myself here and I figure out what's wrong. I need to reinstall the data from Kaggle because I just didn't have the data. And then I could set it as complete. So when the issue is complete, you can kind of just ignore it, but you could also save it to look at later, just so that whoever's managing your project can just see like, oh, this person fixed this issue, and then you could just keep moving on. So just to talk more about CI/CD, it's often combined with agile methodologies, and that creates a workflow and just kind of makes your project more streamlined. And so managing issues, improving collaboration, and something called automated integration testing, which basically is like, let's say I push code that makes a new button or something like JavaScript, and I make a new button and I push that code, or I change a button that's already existing. I might have an integration test that presses that button and sees if that button works. Like let's say I'm uploading a file with it or something. So if that test fails, whenever I push new code, it will pop up in the issues list, and then it will log the commit and the person who pushed whenever a push or merge happens. And in order to do that, you would need like a script, or you could find software that does it as well, that integrates with GitHub. So that's very helpful. That lets us catch bugs early and helps us just stay on top of things when there's errors, because you don't want to find out you made a button 50 commits ago, and then 50 commits later, which could be 2 weeks later, it's not working, you don't know why. And so, yeah, that just makes tracking commits and errors easy.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about progress tracking, and mostly going to focus on, how to use GitHub projects and issues to monitor tasks and track milestones so that everybody's up to date. So GitHub projects, this is what it would look like. I made this demo just based off of everybody's workshop. So I put everyone's, like workshop titles into it and made them into issues. And you can see here, these are the issues. You can assign people to them. So for project management, I assigned myself. And then you can also put the status of it. You can see that we've done 7, we have 1 in progress right now, and then we have 4 more to go. And then with the workshop date, you can make iterations. So I made them 1 week long, and I only had to do it 1 time, and then it automatically did the rest for me. So that was really cool. So in GitHub projects, you can do like 3 different views. This is the first one. It's a table view. It's like your typical spreadsheet view, and they designed it to be like this, so that way it's intuitive and it's very easy for people who've never seen it before to just start working on it. This is the other view that True was talking about. This is the board view. For me, I prefer this. In this case, with the workshops, we only have 12 pods. So it's really easy to see, like what we have left to do, what's in progress, and what's done. But when you have hundreds of issues, this is a great way to just look at an overall picture.
What is the name?
This is the board view, the Kanban view. Yeah. And then in this view, you can also well, this is just a picture, but when you're in the actual project, you can just drag everything, like, what's to do, you can drag into in progress, done. So again, this is very intuitive. This is the third view. It's a roadmap view. It's kind of like a calendar. Over here, we have October 24th, and I made the milestones, if you can see in the green, I made the milestones, the actual dates that the pods are going. So today, the 17th, we're going, and then you can see on the 22nd, pod 5, and then 24th, pod C will be going, and so on and so forth. So this is another good view to, just to look at the months ahead and what you have upcoming. And then, oh, yes, here for the whole entire project, you can add a status update so that everyone gets updated, that's in the project. And at first I made this project off track because of the hurricane. We are a little off track. And then, so if you just click on it, you can add to make it back to on track. So I add an update here. I redid the target date, and then I put it back to on track. So this is really helpful, so everybody knows exactly what's going on in the schedule. And then once you save the update, all the past updates stay there. So it keeps a log of everything, which is very helpful. And then, so for GitHub issues, you can get to it in two ways. The first way is if you directly click on the issue when you're in the project view. Let me show you guys that right now. And when you click on the issue, it doesn't pause. When you click on the issue, it brings up this detailed view of the issue, and you can put in like descriptions or add comments, and you can put assignees to it over here. I believe you can do up to 10 assignees, yeah. And once you assign people to it, they all get subscribed, so everyone gets notified when anything happens. So here you can see, like, I added this issue to the workshop project demo. I converted it from a draft to an actual issue. I signed it to myself, so everything is logged. This is just like a really good way to keep track of everything again. And then the other way to get to GitHub issues that Amanda was talking about is if you just click this little circle button at the top, it gets you to every single issue that you have that's open or closed. So these are all the open issues that I have, which in this case is just everyone who has not finished their workshop yet or hasn't presented yet. You can directly click on it to get to the details of the issue. Again, this is just so helpful. And then if you go back to issues, you can create milestones on this page. And for the milestones themselves, I just made them into the actual due dates. And the great thing about it is when you move an issue from in progress to done, it'll automatically update the milestone. So you don't have to update both of them, just update one and it syncs to everything, which is great. And yep, that's pretty much all we have. We do.
I'm gonna walk you through like how to actually make one now.
Should be up here.
What? Oh, okay. So first you would go to a repository. I'm just gonna make one and call it project management. Project management. Okay. And then yeah, I'll just create that. And if you go here, you'll see projects has like its own tab, which kind of looks like GitHub issues. And then if you click this, you can see you can link it to different repositories if you want, but we're just going to be making a new one. And these are just like the feature templates, which are like different versions of basically the same thing. And if you are in an organization, you can have like your own template that you made, but we don't have that. So yeah, we're just gonna use a board. And name it that. And then once you create it, you'll see that it already gives you like a basic Kanban board. Oh my God, okay. And then you can rename this to whatever you want. I'll just keep it as demo, and then you can also rename the views to something descriptive. I'll just put Kanban for now. And yeah. So if you go over here, it shows you like settings. And you can name it and add a short description. And if you do the README, you would add that here. And then whoever like owns the whole thing can like set permission accesses here if they want to do that. And then here you would add like the actual field. So right now we have to do in progress or done. If you want to like change the name of that or the color or the description, you can do that there or add something, add a new column, we'll call it backlog. Make it red, test, the backlog. Okay, save, and it should show up here. And then if you want to like look at all the fields and stuff, you can do that. It's different ways to sort it. Yeah, okay.
This yours tags onto this, right? I said yours kind of tags onto this.
Yeah. So we're gonna do like a little exercise. So I hope you guys participate. So we're gonna add like issues. Does anyone have a good issue, like a first issue?
It could be theoretical, just like something that hasn't happened yet, but you could just assume or like make up a fictionary issue.
I have a theoretical one. Maybe there's an issue with pushing our code to the Raspberry Pi or something.
The what?
Pushing code to Raspberry Pi. RASPBERRYPI.
Good one.
Where you-
See it?
where you
It's
typing?
right there.
Oh, you put it here?
Yeah.
I think that's how you spell
Okay, so right now it's a draft. All you have to do to make it an issue is you just click the little three buttons and then convert to issue. And you click on the repository that we had made, which was demo. Was it this one? I'll just click that one. And then here, so you can see, you click right on it. You can see all the, this is the issues, like details page. You can assign it to people, assign it to myself. You can add labels, so it makes it easier for people to like find tags. So you can make your own labels or use one of these. So
Would be above, I think.
good first issue. Oop. Okay. And then this is what I was saying, where you can like drag and drop them into, you know, the different categories. And then you can also see it in a table view. Here it's really easy. You can just put in like, what would be a next good issue? It's really like a Excel file.
Gestures don't get recognized.
Gestures.
Picture doesn't get recognized.
Pension?
Yeah.
Oh, pinching. Yeah. See, so it's like really easy to add tasks. I mean, the most tedious part would probably be just like converting them into issues. going one by one and just making them issues.
Or you press control and click all of them, and add them at the same time right now.
Oh, or you could say that. They're just in drafts, like a draft task or issue.
You can.
So again, here, really easy. You can put them into the different statuses. You can add a field. This is what I was talking about, the new field. Let's say like, oh wait. You can make an iteration. So you can say it starts today, it's every 2 weeks. You save and create it. This is the current, and then it just gives it to you for all the other ones. So you don't have to like keep typing it in over and over again, which is really nice. You can just look at it in the field settings. No, I just created it. Yeah,
Set it as a date,
yes.
or by the iteration.
Yeah, like I did like a 2-week iteration.
And that you
So I think the biggest thing with this is that it can be as powerful as you want it to be, as long as like you know how to use it creatively. You know.
Are
Yeah.
there different views that you can access from here? After you created those issues?
Yes.
So this is Kanban. So you see she added the stuff over here.
View views.
Yeah, she had changed the status, right? So in Kanban, we can see that they're tagged in progress, done, to do, backlog.
So are there different boards that you can see besides Kanban?
There's
The
road
one was
map.
like the list, and then that's the roadmap for you.
Yeah, so and there was roadmap. That's what Nicole showed earlier in the slides.
milestone dates on a certain.
On the roadstone view,
Where's the slideshow?
the slideshow. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. A roadmap, sorry.
yeah, because you have the roadmap in the slideshow.
It's right here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What are these?
Roadmap view right here. So Nicole was talking about this earlier. So you can see the dates here too. This is not a video, is it?
We can just create a new milestone,
Okay. You can
which is, yes. No, not on Kanban, unless you click on it directly on the issue. And then you can see it in like, this one.
Yeah.
This is just a table view.
Oh, the tape.
Yeah.
So regarding your question, if you wanted to see milestones on Kanban, what I've seen done, like when I've worked with teams, is that their Jira board or whatever will have milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, and then they'll have a backlog all the way behind it. And basically what the leader will do is drag tasks into the milestone that the team is working on.
So wait, say that again?
Can you go to Kanban real quick, and then I'll just kind of.
Yeah.
So like, for example, here we'll say milestone 1, like another like thing, and then they'll have milestone 2, and then what they'll do is they'll drag from the backlog tasks into the milestone, and then they'll assign it to people to do. So let's say milestone 1 is our 2-week sprint, and if we're done with that milestone, and then we're moving on to milestone 2, we just kind of move usually what teams will do is move milestone 1 somewhere else because they're already done with the task, but they'll leave it there as like a history of what they've done. So like, as Nicole said, it's as powerful as you want it to be, given how creative you get with it. So that's like a common practice people do, though, is they will set different weeks or milestones for the tasks.
And you've worked with it already.
I have before, yeah. It's really easy to follow along with, I would say. It's like, Nicole said the word intuitive. It's very like beginner friendly.
So have you explored other project management applications? And if so, like, why GitHub?
When you answer the question, can we state it so that it gets picked up on my.
Okay. Me personally, I've worked with Teams, and that Teams also has something really similar to the board view, which is basically a Kanban board as well. That's what I have experience with and know of. You guys or anything.
I haven't, but like, I think the main thing is that it's already integrated within GitHub and you're already gonna be using GitHub, so it's just really convenient since it's already there. And pretty intuitive, honestly.
Is there like, I'm curious if there's built-in like priority, like just attaching priority to tasks in GitHub, or would that be like a label? you can do?
You could create the label. Yeah. So like, as we said, as creative as you want to get. Yeah.
So in other words, you would choose a plus and click
Yeah.
your priorities.
Yeah. What were you talking about before the question came up?
Yes.
Oh, and also, I think for part two, we were supposed to like put your interviewees in the board. And I did make like a basic board on our repository, so if you want, you can start doing that, or you can like space it out. Yeah,
This is all in the project section of GitHub. Now GitHub also has a different section just for issues. Is there any
Yeah.
correlation where you can view anything from project board and the issues view?
So this is Nicole's issue view right now. This is like some of the stuff we've added, right? We added pinching doesn't get recognized. So like we could click on this, right? And then this is the issue view. You could integrate this. Well, this is already integrated with GitHub Projects, so you don't have to do anything.
And I see that's in the top menu there, right? The second element. We have code and then issues and then.
Yeah. So like, let's say Ted were to reply to the pinching not getting recognized, and he gives advice saying to look over gesture controller or something. Let's just say, for example, this is what Ted said. And then let's say Ted assigns that to one of the pods that are responsible for the gestures. You could just go up here and assign it. For now, we'll just assign ourselves, right? And then as a label, we would label it as a bug. We could add to it. We could add a new label, like we could add, this could be a pod 3 issue, right? We're pod 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just say it's a pod 3 issue for now. Go back. And then let's say this is part of our, where'd the milestone go?
You have to create it.
Yeah, I think we're into one. So this is part of our milestone 1. We'll just set it to that. And then if we had like the repository, for example, we'll just put it in testing for now. Let's just say that's what we're coding our Raspberry Pis on. We just do that. And then you would look for your branch. So say our branch is pod 3, and then we would just add that. And then so when we go back, it would show all the information. And then if we were like as a class as a whole, if we were all looking at issues, we could just organize it by what's assigned to us, right? So if it's for pod 3, then we could filter it out to just only look at pod 3, since everything else is not our problem at the moment. But if there's anything else we could help with, we could simply just click on it and just comment on it, an idea how to fix the bug or like a solution that you might have to fix it. And like I said earlier, usually if there's an issue with a commit, you could label the commit. You can automatically get the commit labeled onto it. And that way, if other people are looking at your code, they could easily just go back to that commit and look at it. Rather than, going out to you and being like, hey, can I see your laptop? So I can look at the code. You could just go back and look at the commit like really easily. Is there any other questions regarding
I just
anything?
have one more question, I'm sorry. Is there a way to group issues together? So if it's like, for example, connecting the Raspberry whatever to the TVs, and that consists of like 5 different things you need to do, is there a way to group those issues together?
You can create sub issues within the issue. So that way, like the overall issue, I guess that's like the first tag that you would hit, and then when you open it, you can see all the sub issues in it.
That would also come down to how your team wants to organize them as well. Sometimes you might want to make that a different task, or you might want to specify those into different tasks if they can be like split apart and worked on separately.
What if you have 2 developers who put down the same issue? Is there a way to go ahead and then link one issue to another issue?
That's a good question.
Link issues, but-
You can link them.
You know how to do it.
Oh, by the way, if you go to an open repository and if you have an issue with code that you've pulled from GitHub, you can help the developers by putting by declaring the issue on their repo. And that'll appear for them and they can actually go ahead and handle that issue. So keep that in mind. Now that you see how this works, this is on all GitHub repositories. So yeah, if you run into an issue or if you have any problem with open source code, this is where you go to get it fixed.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I put an issue before I watched it, like moving from there to working on it to finish.
Yeah, so you help contribute towards the improvements of their code base. You were a stakeholder.
Oh my god. We did not set up any code repository. We would have to make a pull request. Okay, so basically, if you wanted to link issues together, you could link them to a pull request. And then we would kind of have to push something to have a pull request, but you could take the pull request and then go back to here, I think, and then you can link them. You can link them with the pull request over here. You put it in the branch and then you would able to put it in the same project. And it should link together.
Excellent. So just out of curiosity, how many people in this room have been like in an internship opportunity where they had to use a project management tool like this? And so just to do a quick poll, like, so you said you had used Teams, was it?
Yeah, we used Teams and it had a board on it. I know other teams in the same institution had like Jira. Yeah.
Just a poll, was that pretty consistent with your experiences as interns?
Yeah, Jira, I use Jira.
I know I've touched on like a ServiceNow integration as well. That was like an add-on, like Microsoft.
It's really nice how GitHub just integrates this as a part of their package of delivering your ability to collaborate together.
Well, the cool thing is with Jira, you can connect it to GitHub and like your branches are attached to your issues and stories or evidence.
And that's all connected to your IDE too, which makes it a lot better as well.
Have you guys ever used Bitbucket though?
Yeah. No, I think
It's terrible. Yeah.
So our deliverable is just to create your own project and, yeah, create your own project and also create like 4 issues. And then just like send us a screenshot of your project. And then we'll upload that to the GitHub.
Did everyone hear that? That's gonna be your submission, your deliverable for this.
Will that be added to y'all's?
Just to create your own project and make like 4 issues. And then we'll walk you through how to make your first issue and then, so really just make 3 issues. And then we'll put that into our the repository, the class repository.
And then Dr. I just have a question, are